Hello and welcome to Curse of the Azure Bonds, and this will be part 3. You are entering the foul-smelling, slime-covered sewers of Tilberton. Because of the slippery footing and low ceiling, it is apparent that fighting will be awkward. Okay. You still hear the occasional sounds of battle echoing from the guild hall. A piece of paper pokes above the muck here. The paper is heavily soiled, but you can make out knives untrustworthy, cultists unreliable, wizard insane, and tea seems very dangerous. Expect little reliability from the new alliance, especially over the bonded subject. We'll need to set up our own observation team. Her. A tattered green robe lies trampled in the muck. You spot a checkpoint to the south. You are at a checkpoint. The fire knives demand your immediate surrender. Do you surrender? Of course we don't. I probably should have done that because that would have taken me straight to the leader. But oh well, you learn something new every day. I want to apologize for the sound in previous episode because I forgot to mute the video sound when I was doing the voiceover. So there was some sound ghosting. Technically, I could have redone it, but to be honest, it's not disruptive. It's just enemies dying and things like that. Those kind of sounds just pop up in subtle form half a second before they actually get killed on the screen. It's funny how that works, but yeah. So the fire knives are running away like the heroes they are. Almost done. Yep, done here. And usual rubbish. You quickly hide their bodies. You spot something flapping on the ceiling. To tell what it is, someone will need to climb up. Does anyone want to? Only a thief could succeed. The thief retrieves a swath of cloth from a sealed trapdoor. The door was too well jammed to open. The scent of a tavern wafts down through the door. You recognize the cloth as being the same as the dress worn by the woman who disappeared from the bar. We have hereby justified bringing a thief. That note we found, by the way, indicates that the different factions are not exactly teaming up because they love each other. Those green robes, they become relevant much later, but there's a significance to them. We're coming up to some monsters, and I don't know how to pronounce their name. You hear the shuffling of large feet, but can't locate the direction because of the echoes. I find a lot of Dungeons and Dragons monsters have names that you need to be able to speak Klingon or something to pronounce them. Or maybe Elvish, I don't know. So this, I only showed this once, but I'm just showing that I'm buffing my party with Bless and Prayer. Assume that I'm doing that with every set encounter. A terrible stench assaults your senses as you enter this room. From out of a particularly nasty pile comes a pack of Ortioks. I don't know how to pronounce them. Ortioks? I don't know. Otyuks, that's what I call them. It may well be wrong. I'm very, very sorry about that. A fireball. Good old reliable. Until of course it's not. Ha! That makes perfect sense. There's some of the names that are used in the game. But, I've been working on finding a proper way to pronounce them, and I don't want to let Google tell me how to pronounce it because that's probably wrong as well. But if my pronunciations of certain names is awkward, off, or wrong, then I do apologize, but I have to say something. With the monsters defeated, this looks like a safe place to rest. And that is the case of all monster layers in the sewers. As soon as you've cleared them, you can. Stuffed in a crevice here are the slain bodies of two red-robed assassins. It would take something powerful to have lodged them so tightly. You can use those areas as resting areas. See a scrap of purple cloth clinging to the bottom of the south door hinge. That reminds me of a song. 5 points for anyone recognizing that. I suppose a game of this age, they couldn't go overly detailed, but you would probably expect there would be some raw sewage floating around instead of passages. But there is actually sewage down here, we just can't see it, which is the remains of a body is here. An arm is marked with defective versions of the sigils on your arm. They're not showing the sludge, so they tell you it's a sewer, then it's a sewer. You just buy it. Piles of excrement has been shaped into pyramids here. Many Otyuks are smoothing the sides and making artistic embellishments. A glint of metal comes from one pile. What do you do? Let's try and bargain with them. A telepathic buzz fills your mind. If you wish the shiny thing, then we must have treasure in return. To the south are others of our ilk, who have 2 fine-smelling piles of food. Bring us those. Okay. Time to get a load of rubbish. Doing that with a purpose. That's gotta be a first. We're just remembering where they are. Rats, the size of large dogs even, rush away as you approach. Behind door number 1, the room is filled with filth, though most of the smell comes from 2 piles near the center. The Otyuks attack immediately. Otyuks, I don't know. I'll probably call them something different every single time. Looking at these games, which are, of course, 30 years old by now, they probably, some people would probably claim that they contain a lot of tropes, but of course, remember that it wasn't a trope back then. It is games like these that have set the foundation for the term tropes being valid 20 years down the line. So it was new and exciting back then. And as I went through the game, I too was surprised how much I enjoyed it. It is obvious. It's obvious which piles the other Otyuk. Yeah, okay, fine. We found it easy to identify the piles of rubbish they wanted, so we gathered it. Utuk bounce about in apparent joy of your gifts. They pluck the object from the fetid pyramid and toss it to you, then relieve you of your unpleasant baggage of trash. You may pass through freely. How nice of them. The object is a glittering piece of jewelry, ornately sculpted in the symbol of the centrum. The object looks to have been worn until recently. You were given a few other trinkets as well. Is that what you call a diamond in the rough? Onwards. Pieces of trolls lie strewn about here. What do you do? You probably burn them. You quickly sear the pieces into inactivity. You don't want pieces of the troll to regenerate into a full living troll. Burnt into the wall here is the symbol of a hand with a mouth for a palm. The faint stench of decayed flesh seems to linger here. The room is swampy and you sink down to your knees. Some trolls are sitting on a small tussock, tossing hunks of meat to the wallowing crocodiles. They turn to you. Another pile of meat, and so soon. Oh, I'm being trolled now. Ha! 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 I know, it was a bad one. Very, very bad comment. Trolls goes from being extremely dangerous to being a formality very, very quickly. Well, I suppose, I mean, you have to have some sort of measuring your character's power. What was a challenge at level 4 will probably not be a challenge at level 12. You never know, of course. I mean, if it was an ancient red dragon that was a challenge at level 4, it's probably also going to remain a challenge at level 12. I would assume. If it was a proper ancient red dragon. What is it there? Fire Blast is doing? Is it? It's 20 D20 plus 20. And an ancient gold dragon, a good dragon, is 24 D20 plus 24. Fire damage from its breath. Some like it hot. The monsters defeated, this looks like a safe place to rest. So I'm probably resting. Oh, didn't I cut that out? Oh well, we probably manage. I used to know most of the monsters. Most of the monsters is a relative term. I mean, it's probably thousands of monsters in Dungeons and Dragons, but back in the day when I was an active pen and paper player, I put a lot of effort out of into learning the different monsters, learning about them. As you open the door, hands reach down from above. Then comes a deep bass voice. Well, you're not bone grinder, but you'll probably taste better. So, more trolls. Um, Reading the Monsters Compendium. Um, I don't know whether there is a similar type monster in current forms of Dungeons and Dragons, but I'm fairly sure I read about a type of pixie, which was so unbelievably beautiful that any male character, if they looked at them, would have to make a system shock save or die. Yeah, they must be pretty. Oh, It was a lot of experience. Oh, it was probably a lot of money. And a lot of magic items. That explains it. You get the experience based on the value of the treasure you get from defeating opponents. Also, of course, you get experience from defeating monsters, but it's a fraction of the experience you gain from money and treasure. So, if you kill 4 of something and then you get 10,000 experience, unless there was 4 dragons, they probably dropped something nice. So, and again, we can rest here. Time to move on. Here sound suddenly cut off to the south and west. Mm-hmm. Found a secret door to the east. You enter the hidden chambers. Welcome to the secret training hall of the guild. Would you care to train? I'm fairly sure I checked and realized I couldn't train. Just search around this area to find us again. I might do. No, I won't. It is an option to go back and train now, if that's what you feel like doing. But other options becomes available when we're done in here. So here lies the slaughtered remains of a fire knife checkpoint. As you cautiously look it over, a man steps out of the shadow. He holds a sword and bears the livery of the Knights of Mistrano. You bear blue tattoo markings of the fire knives, yet I have heard rumors that the accursed flame one was using such things to control people. To whom do you owe allegiance? The princess, of course. We are going to rescue her. Nakasia? I haven't decided. I think I will go with Nakasia, unless Nasasia is more correct. I don't know. Yeah. He laughs. That princess is a popular girl. Well, continue south and don't kill the cleric with a hammer. He's trying to rescue her as well. He lets you pass. And on that note, we'll be coming towards the end of this part. So I hope you can tolerate my constant yapping. And if not, I feel sorry for you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care and see you next time. Bye bye for now.